were to list the names or think back of the 50 people that had the hardest time dying, most afraid, most terrified, meanest to their families, well over half of those would be devout, born-again Christians. And there was actually a medical study done in 2009 in the Journal of the American Medical Association. It's called JAMA, that found that it was cancer patients. And the folks at the end of life that wanted every possible intervention done were the most devout, the most religious, which shocked the people doing the survey. Because, the folks feel like, well, I know where I'm going, but those were the folks that wanted everything done. And that's what got me thinking, reflecting on my own experience. And here's what I've seen, and here's how I would suggest that. I think there's two things. Look, you and I both have been longtime ministers, and there's some people that come to church that they come to every prayer meeting, every Bible study, they're there every Sunday, they tithe, they work in the nursery, and they do all of that behavior. They're the most committed. Now, some of those people do that because they're trying to earn God's love. Like, if I give enough money, if I spend my time in the nursery, maybe then God will love me. And then there's some other people that do the same exact things just out of gratitude. Oh, God, I can't believe all the stupid, crazy, shameful things I've done, and you still love me. I'm just so grateful. I'm so glad to do. Now, their behavior is identical. They're doing the same actions, but for totally different reasons. And the folks that I've met at the end of life that can accept their shadow parts, their sinful selves, realizing God's forgiven that. I'm flawed, I'm not perfect, but God just loves me anyway. They're in a place of grace. They die pretty easy. But those folks that are still trying to believe the right creed, to believe the right thing, to do the right thing, even though they're very devout, very religious, they're still trying to earn God's acceptance. They die very painfully and very hard. And that's something, and regardless of religion, I had one person that was a theosophist, which is I don't need to try and explain what that belief system is, but it's pretty complex. But they were still trying at the end of life to do the right, read the right books, believe the right things, to satisfy whatever their concept of God was. And so religious people, if they're trying to earn acceptance from God, it's really painful. But those that have been able to accept their imperfections, accept that God loves them just as they are, screwball, neurotic and all, they have a much easier time. So it doesn't matter what particular religion is what that experience of what I call grace, if there's grace involved, an acceptance of who they are, good, bad, and ugly, is a much easier thing.